Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Lucid and more turns here with Rlyeh. I've got 2 turns for you in this episode. So make sure you stick around because next turn we actually are going to have some fun stuff to watch. So if you're the person that watches like 5 minutes of the video, skip forward and watch the next turn more than this one. But yeah, we've got some shit that's going to go down. It's going to be fun. So we get 3 water gems from Jotunheim. I had sent them 3 air. So that was the trade we did. A throne has been claimed. The Throne of the Moon. The Throne of the Moon is this. So you get growth and precision. This is one of the growth thrones. A lot of thrones have started being claimed. The thrones that are left are the Throne of Bureaucracy, which is kind of cool. The Throne of Gaia, which this is the one I really want. This is the one I want most of all, by far. The Iron Throne, I don't, it's nice, but I don't know. I don't have to have that. Throne of Water, this one, again, nice, don't need. The Throne of Life, this is for me, I really want the growth. So that would be really good to get. So, but we need to start getting thrones, boys. We don't have a lot of thrones. We have none. And we need some. Part of the reason we need thrones isn't just so that we can have them, it's so that we can keep other people from winning. So, yeah, we're going to have to start getting some. All right, Voice of Tiamat has been cast. We got a Boiling Current. We cast it again and didn't get anything. We cast Dark Knowledge. Boiling Current, by the way, I think it's fire? Oh, fire and air. Okay, so it's a 2-gem province. Dark Knowledge didn't find anything. Voice of Tiamat again, and another 8 gems spent with nothing to show. And then we manually site-searched and found a mud field. And then we manually site-searched and found a monstrous conch. So, anyway, that was that. Now there's some battles. So here we're attacking the trolls. These fucking trolls. And you can see we're making pretty quick work on them. Our Greater Otherness is doing a good bit of work as well. But these definitely deserve respect. Sea trolls underwater are pretty intense. So I think we lost 1 meteorite card. But otherwise, this is kind of overkill for taking out sea trolls. But you can see, even though it was overkill, we didn't kill them super quickly or anything. And then there's a battle in Oceania. So we try to go on top of their cap. And this time they moved out the army and they don't really have anything left. Now, they haven't had money for PD. So they're putting literally nothing in PD, and they're trying to put everything into troops and mages. We attack here in Klon, this is the little land province that was adjacent to the Sea King province. Just 1 PD here in Klon, so we take that out. Now they attack us in Flooding Lagoon. So this is where my god is. And this is actually really funny. I fucked up. So I have to tell you some of this. So the plan here is we're going to have all these guys communion slave, and then we're going to have these guys piece the fuck out by doing returning. And you can see it applies to them. They get the returning buff, but they don't go anywhere. And it's also weird. He didn't cast personal bark skin. I meant to put him on personal bark skin, but yeah, they didn't get the protection buff from bark skin, but they're gone. They have basically the stunned effect, and they got 100 fatigue from the communion breaking, but they didn't teleport out. They should have. Now, what happened is I outplayed the fuck out of myself because we have on this guy, one of the cool things about him is we have astral fetters, which is sick. This is really good. Units with void sanity will still be able to make sense of the distorted space and leave. So, okay. So I forgot about that, even though that was a very important part of the Bosmos LA Rlyeh playthrough we did. Like, this was a major thing because we had this there was an annoying master and slave Grand Archon that kept attacking us. Anyway, so what's going to happen here is this guy and this guy are going to leave because they both have void sanity. Oh, wait, no, this guy does. Oh, wait, no, this guy has void sanity. Yeah. So they can leave, but these guys don't. Because I'm stupid and I forgot about that, even though I should have known it, when I was doing the testing, I wanted to make sure it worked, and for whatever reason, my mind wasn't working. So I went to test that, like, okay, the god can do returning, because I was worried astral fetters would block him. I forgot that quirk, that so important quirk of astral fetters. I was worried it would block him from leaving. So I tested it, and sure enough, he could return. I was like, okay, we're cool to do this play. It must only work on enemies. No. It works on everybody, except if you have Void Sanity. And I didn't realize that until literally just this moment right here, even though I knew it very clearly 2 years ago. So, whoops. What did that cost me? It cost me 2 Slave Mage lives. Slave Mage lives matter. And this is unacceptable. I'll show you how the battle just plays out, though, even though they're just basically tired. There was a fair bit of PD here. We kill a few of the little lions, and then they come back here and kill him, and then that's that. Okay, so he's moved his whole army. Now, importantly, there's a lab here. So that means this army is now positioned on a lab where it can restock in water gems. Because I think we also did gem bait them here. That was the silver lining in all of this. And they only have so many water gems, and those water gems are getting depleted. I think this is 15 water gems they spent or something. Or we can count. Maybe it's only 12. So let's see, 6. No, it's 15. So 15 water gems down the drain. I think they're running out. They're definitely going to be on their last legs. So, yeah. Okay, so here we just go, this is the last Yissian fort we go on top of. I'll show you on the strategic map. And then here we're pinging inside Yiss's capital. So I'll show you what we're dealing with inside of Yiss's capital. They've got these guys clogging the gate. They've got some Morvarks who aren't even scripted to hold an attack, which is fine because they're gods here, so they're going to be blessed anyway. But you would probably want to paint quickness on them or something. I don't know what their research is. And then they kind of clog up at the gate and then trickle through. So that was about what we were expecting. We were expecting 5 to 10 Morvarks. There's 9. We were expecting 2 Yissian Druids. I was thinking the Queen wouldn't be out yet because she's in prison, so I think she had a bit of an early wake-up. So that's unfortunate. We'll take a look at the Queen too, so those of you curious about the Yiss build will also know what it is. A lot of paths, a lot of bless. Yeah. Pretty cool. So, yeah, so that's the battle at Yiss, and then there's a battle in the Fortress of Asphodel. He just pings the inside of the fort to see what's here. So they kill this one guy, but presumably Asphodel's now going to storm this. Agartha, you can see, is running around on the surface here. They had an army here. They moved on top of this fort. They've popped it. And presumably they're scared shitless of this army. But they have a sizable force here, sizable enough to pop it. So I'm hoping they don't decide to, like, run off and march into me. Not that they would have any reason to. But, so this is the state of the map. Oceania has all of their forts under siege. So they're not making much income. I think they might still get some income from, like, the inside of the fort. But they're not tracing income from from non-fort provinces. So, yeah. So, what we're doing is this... Okay, so... this force, because it's only 1 to PD, it didn't end up causing a gem burn, which is nice. Because a lot of times if you have a solo mage, he'll always use gems, basically, even against 1 PD. But I guess we had enough troops here that didn't happen. So, what we're going to do is... I'm going to move this guy here just to hold the fort down. And if they come out and fight, then he'll run away. And then these guys... We're going to move this guy back on top of this fort, with the idea that I don't think he's going to move this army back. He might, because we've... Okay, there's a bunch of things that have happened. That we did, as I was mentioning, put enough on this fort to crack it the previous turn. So we're going to be storming it with these guys. This cannot really be stopped by him. He doesn't have anything in position. He's been outmaneuvered. However, we're going to very quickly be putting this under siege as well. And I'm hoping to get enough. We've done indie recruitment here and here. I'm hoping to get enough that we can one turn pop this fort. That would be brilliant if we could. I could have also, like, gotten a bunch of these idiots, and that would have been, like, a bit more. But anyway, the hope is that we have enough to one turn pop this fort. And then I didn't realize this. This is sort of like the chess part of the game, and I didn't play chess well. I knew I was sort of kind of backing into a corner here, but I didn't really think how much I was backing myself into a corner, because now I've got 3 moves. The 3 moves are this. Well, I've got essentially 4 moves. If you don't count me attacking Nidavellir, which is like a weird 5th move that I could do just to like dodge this army. I don't want to fight this army. This army will probably kill these guys. So what are we going to do? We're going to move south and do a PD dump. That's basically it. This is not a good PD type. It's a shit PD type. This is a shit PD type. But basically, so what can these guys do? They know we're either going to move here or attack into them or stay still or go south. The other move we could do is to really dodge them. We go here, but then we're really backed into a corner, right? We're really backed in. And here was my thinking. My thinking was like this. Okay, well, like if we move everybody here, I actually have a decent number of mages, and I can do a decent amount of PD, and maybe that will be enough to swing the fight. I didn't test this. Part of it is because let's look at the thing of all these moves and which ones he would probably expect me to do. I know he's trying to catch my army. He knows I'm trying to dodge his army. Trying to dodge his army, it would make sense that I would pull away farther, right? Rather than go closer. But I've been very tricky and unpredictable. It'd be very reasonable for me, even when I'm trying to dodge his army, to move in closer. But I do want to get these guys, like have these guys survive. And they can't meet up except here. So that's another thing that makes it this or this move more likely. So anyway, from his perspective, if he moves into me here, then that will take a fight if I either stay still or move into him. So that makes this move pretty likely because it kind of catches 2 things, 2 different things. But I probably won't move into him. Like, that's not what he would expect with this. It'd be very risky for me to move into him because there's a chance he just clicks into my army. So yeah, the move, I was really oscillating back and forth between just like staying here, and then if he comes here, then I could potentially just attack Nidavellir and scoot my way out and send him gold as an apology. And I wouldn't tell them until afterwards, because there's a chance they would tell Oceanania, and I wouldn't want to roll those dice. I would just send him a bunch of gold and say, hey, I'm sorry. And I mean, he wouldn't really care. I'd just leave 1 PD there. I wouldn't care if somebody did it to me. It would be polite to check, though, just because he could have a fort or something going up. Like, it'd be better if I had scouting and I knew there was no fort. But Nidavellir is making troops, man. Look at all these Bear Clan warriors. He's just pumping these things out. He really is using the foreign recruit part of this, making just a ton of these guys. Let's take a look at these Bear Clan real quick before we continue. I'm going to make sure I'm fully distracted. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, that's basically that. We are going down here and we're going to join up. We're going to have a ton of stuff here. We're going to have almost 70, 80 illithids. I think like 82 illithids or something, maybe more. We're going to have a decent number of mages. We're going to have gems for water elementals. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of stuff. We're going to have a bunch of meteorite guard. We're going to have just a lot of stuff here. It's going to be a really pitched fight if he comes to fight. We're storming, like I said, up here with this stuff. We're moving these guys, the mages here, with the anticipation I'm actually going to need some mages to storm this castle once I put stuff on it. The other thing I should mention about this situation, he has 3 moves, 4 if you consider staying still, which I don't think is really a move, and 5 if we consider him going back to the cap, which I think is unlikely. I think it's likely he sends a small raiding group back to the cap, but not much more than that. The thing, though, is that if he moves here, and I move enough stuff here to 1-turn pop this fort, from here to here, there's no way for him to get to it before I 1-turn pop it and storm it. Right? Because, like, he's here, I'm here. Then he's like, oh, fuck, I have to get back. So he moves up here. I'm on top of the fort and have popped it. And then I'm storming it, and then he's in either of these, moving to these provinces the turn I storm it. And then at that point, he's just down to his cap. So if he moves here, it's in some ways a very bad... it's just a bad tile for his main army to be in. So that's the other reason I'm moving here, because I don't know if he realizes he would really like to keep his army in orbit around his capital, especially now that I've got a ton of stuff from Yis pouring in through the north part of his border. He really wants to keep this this stuff around here, maybe doing a bit of raiding, who knows. And then, yeah. So this is a very bad tile for his army to be in. But it's somewhat of a, I don't know. I think it's hard to predict. This is just, like, if I moved here, this is in many ways the tile I'd like to go to. Like, this would be my favorite move because it puts this army back in play and makes it easier for me to combine forces. So in many ways, this, like, if I got to just pick a move, I would probably do something like this. Or like this. This would probably be the best move. I just don't want to piss off Nidavangar. But anyhow, this is the move we chose. We're doing a little bit more Voice of Tiamat casting. I think we're casting it here. We're doing another Dark Knowledge casting. And we are storming Yis. So I'll show you the script we've got. Basically, I have a few Lobo Guard, which are just split up here. And their job is very simple. Their job is just to distract the Morbarks and eat up the Lance charges. The script for everybody else, we've got the Meteorite Guard at the back, and the idea is I want to buff the Illithid soldiers, who I care about more, up first, and then I want to buff these guys as they're running by. And I want to position them so that the Meteorite Guard and the Illithid soldiers are probably fighting the Morbarks at about the same time. The buffs we're doing is just a bunch of quickness and Body Ethereal, which is going to be very good. Body Ethereal is not going to be great against the Morbarks, but quickness will be. And we're storming. This army here, we've got just more siege chaff. We're moving on to this fort. So we'll start putting a beating on it. And then we're taking these guys and moving them south. Hopefully I can get these guys killed off before Oceania dies. Yeah, because otherwise they're just aquatic-only stuff that's going to be hard for me to use well. Because certainly we're going to be trying to go, you know... Oh, shit, this is the Throne of Gaia, I think. Oh no, this could just be Asphodel Dominion. We really have to go get this throne. This is an easy throne to get to. It's just got wyverns. Yeah, I have got to get this throne, man. I need to start getting some thrones. I think I want one throne on each border, and that way I don't have too many thrones. This one's going to be a son of a bitch to take. But this is the only throne left on this border. Centaur Warriors, Vine Ogres, Heavy Infantry. I was thinking maybe I could Foul Vapors it. We can also do Twilight, which will kind of help. It's going to give... has no effect in normal daylight. Oh, it just loses precision. I thought you actually lost dark vision. I mean, you lost stats. I guess not. Oh, Nightfall. Oh, changes it into darkness. Okay. So we can do Twilight Nightfall here, potentially. Get some stats off these guys. The other thing is I need to see who's here. I need to ping this. But I need to see who's here, so I might be able to thug it. This is the sort of thing that is thuggable. I really need this helmet, which gives morale. Because the thug I would probably send in, because I don't have a way to make a fish amulet yet, is I would probably send in, like, one of these guys. Yeah. And then put a lot of buffs on them, and then with quickness and stuff, you could actually put heavy armor on them. And then with life drain and stuff, they should be okay. The only thing is, maybe I should trade for a fire shield. Because that would be really good against the Centaur. But anyway, we'll see. But like, I think ideally I want like one of the Glamour Path guys to do Shroud of Bewilderment, Astral Shield. But I need to see what mages are here too. But ideally I can thug this. And if I get 2 thrones, I'll feel good. I really want to get a throne near Nidavangar. I really don't want this to be something he can kind of run into later. So we'll just have to see. Oh, there's this throne too. So there's potentially 3 thrones for us to get. I think if we get 3, we're going to raise the alarm bells. This one doesn't appear to be a growth throne. That's the other thing I really need to do is scry. So if I can get a water... Which I don't... Maybe I could just teleport... Can this guy scry? He can scry, I think, all the important places. He can't scry this one. basically, I need to do scrying pool. So I need to probably move a guy. Do I have anybody over here? I need to walk. So basically, maybe I make some of these dudes, and then I roll for a glamour one and have them come up here. The other option is I could have, I think it's thaumaturgy. Or is it what? Yeah, this one. I could have Kuthgul do it, but it seems a bit of a waste. Or I could have this guy do it. Yeah, so I can teleport this guy onto a fort. He's going to end up getting used next turn, though. Okay, so some of you may have seen there's some more sea trolls, so I'll show you that. We got attacked by Tritons. That was in the province we had a ton of PD anyway. Bad tax, unrest. So this was a semi-good event. Yeah, we got attacked by sea trolls again. We got some gold, but then we lost population. And then we got some order. So, here are the trolls coming in, fucking up my shit again. And here are the Tritons attacking and getting killed. So that's that. We do want to kill these guys, but it's going to be a hot minute. But I think that's basically it for this turn. I've been trying to be chatting with most people in the game, just see how things are going. I'll talk about that next turn. Let me go ahead and pull it up. Okay, so we're back to the current turn, and we cast Dark Knowledge and Voice of Tiamat. We found an Iron Cliff. This was in this is a super valuable province now. We've got, yeah, it's super duper valuable. Ton of income, ton of gems. This is a huge, good water indeed. And then there's some fights here. So Oceania tries to break out of their cap. And they've got these guys who would have butchered what I had there, which was a few Meteorite Guard and a Mage. But we just had the scout who ran. Now, we're going to jump to the main course. So, and I think it's this one, Lake Vastness. Oh, no, it's not this one. So he just pings us here. Sorry, this is one of their forts that we're sieging. It's here in the Untamed Sea. They caught us. We were slippery devils, but they got us eventually. Now, you might say, some of you were like, oh no, well, you have a ton of Mind Blasters. That means you're going to win. To you, I would say, I'm not sure that you properly respect how good these dudes are, and how good these dudes are, and how good these dudes are. They all have high MR. If he just waited till he had anti-magic, the Mind Blasters would be doing almost nothing. But let's watch. Interestingly here, PD made contact with these mages, which would normally mean you kill them, but these are 18 defense mages. You do not just kill these guys, they kill you. You can see we didn't have that many water elementals. I thought we would have more. One of them got trapped. Okay, so they've now closed ranks over here, but the water elementals are tied up killing these Meteorite Guard, which are all completely webbed to hell. Now, one thing I want to bring your attention to. Look at this. Just a line of water elementals mauling my Illithid soldiers. One thing I potentially could have done, because I was sort of all in here in a way. Not all in, but I was heavily invested in this fight, is I could have teleported my god here. There would have been problems with that, like there's not a lab here for me to teleport my god out of. So it could have been a problem, but it would have been very helpful in this fight. Here, this greater otherness is starting to really, like, maul these guys. Okay, the Illithids on this flank are starting to break. More are breaking. A huge amount of... I think this is the main front line just broke, actually. Now, they didn't actually lose that much. Like, if we look down here at the Illithids, we haven't really lost that many of them. But now we're in trouble. Oh, we're routed as an army now. Everyone run! Every man for themselves! So this is bad. Okay. Butcher's Ledger. They lost. Now there's some other important details we'll watch here. Then we'll do Butcher's Ledger. I want there's some things we were kind of watching all the detail, or the big picture. We didn't see some of the important details. Okay, the Leo campus are these guys are retreating. So they're all running. Wait, am I crazy? Is this different RNG than just a minute ago? This is my current turn, right? I could have sworn when I watched this earlier today, the Aphori retreated. Did the game just patch or something? What the fuck? I literally was watching it this morning and they all retreated. This feels like a different battle. Am I on drugs? Mainly of Myrmidons and Aphori Hierophants. There's no mention of Aphori here. This is a different battle report than literally like 20 minutes ago. Anyhow, we killed a bunch of them. There might be like 16 left, but I think they all retreated and died. This is a different battle report. How strange. I've never had a different battle play out on the same day. Yeah, those Hierophants are brutal. Okay. Who the fuck knows what happened? Did they retreat? Did they not? We are not sure. Now, what was the cost of this for us? We lost 2 star children, 1 slave mage, 1 of the priest star spawn. Who retreated? One of the Amber Clan mages died, but everybody else seems to have made it okay. Most of the guys retreating on their own retreated back. We lost 50 Illithid soldiers plus probably 50 when you factor in the retreat deaths. We lost all the Meteorite Guard. What did they lose? They lost most of the Ephori. They lost most of the Leocampus. They didn't lose that many of the Myrmidons. And they importantly didn't lose any of the Hierophants. And they didn't lose... They lost 3 of the Sirens. That's how I also know this was a different battle. Because that was when it started feeling weird. Was that in the real battle, I'll tell you what happened. Okay, so about this time in the real battle, this Greater Otherness was over here stomping on Sirens. I have to see if the game patched or something. Yeah, he was stomping the shit out of Sirens up here. So it's a very different battle replay. And this one looks like it went even worse for us in this version. It looks like we routed way earlier. So we did less damage. But more of our Illithids escaped. Like, if we look at the retreat, most of these guys retreated. By far. So this was worse for us in the sense that we killed far less of his stuff than we did in the real battle report. But it was better for us in the sense we had more of our stuff survive. So that's not what happened. That is so strange. I need to see if it updated. 1 second. So I went and tested it, or not tested it. I went and looked at the minions thing, and there's been no updates. It's not like there's a new patch. I don't know what the fuck happened. This is so weird. I've never seen this before. That is very strange for Dominions. Anyhow, that's fine. At least I know what happened. I just can't show it to you guys. So yeah, 3 of the Sirens are dead. There's no lab here. And I find it unlikely they have that many gems left for summoning water elementals. Originally, when I saw this, I was like, oh, fuck. This is horrible. This war's going to drag on. It's going to be super Pyrrhic. But then I realized, the more I looked at it, that this was actually the checkmate move. And it's not me that's getting checkmate, it was him. And the reason is this. He's going to see I have this huge army. This army is going to go on top of his capital. For him to block it, knock it off his capital, he needs to basically come here this turn. Because for all he knows, this could 1 turn pop his capital. He also probably needs to restock gems, and maybe if he's trading for more water gems, which he asked in the game chat, if people could send him water gems, then he's got to go here where there's a lab so he can restock, right? Well, that gives him a predictable move. We have this guy that there's a bunch of Illithids that retreated here, and we can move every single mage we have in this fort, which we moved up a bunch of Star Children earlier to here. And we can load them up with all the water gems that we have. And we can summon 20 water elementals and not him. And we can do a huge PD dump. He has to go here, basically. He could go this way, but it's a whole extra turn. And he doesn't have access to a lab to restock. And I could gem bait him at everything. He really does need to go here. We can also teleport our god. Right? And move him back a little. We can teleport our god. We can also move in this guy to do Light of the Northern Star and some other stuff. We can move this, teleport in this guy to do, this is our water too. He can do water power, power of the spheres, summon water elementals. You're starting to see. Some of my best victories, like, and by that I don't mean like winning the game, I mean like tactical battles, are on the heels of a defeat. You have like a big defeat like this, which was a Pyrrhic victory for him. You know, he lost a lot of important stuff. But the stuff he lost was a much larger percentage of what he had than what I lost. Yeah, I lost 4 mages. He lost 3 mages. I lost 5 because 1 died in the retreat. He lost 3. That's a much bigger percent of his mages than mine. He also lost a bunch of troops. You know what happened to his army graph? It probably got cut in half. Do you know what happened to my army graph? I'm hoping this comes through on the video. Went from here to here. It's kind of, so Johan, the guy I'm working on making a game with, we're talking about strategy and tactics and whatnot and different. We're spending so much time just looking at different games too. And he had a really good definition for the difference between a strategy game and a tactics game. And the difference is that in a tactics game, if you lose a major battle, then you're done. That's the end of the game. In a strategy game, losing a battle is not only just part of the game, but it may be a decisive victory. And I think that's what this was here. While on paper, this was a huge win that Oceania desperately needed, at the exact same time, it is the nail in the coffin. It is the checkmate move that puts them out of the game, I think. Let that sink in. An enormous loss for me ends up being the move that completely destroys my opponent. That is the difference between a strategy and a tactics game. So, yeah. Now, what are the plans? We don't want him to have a retreat route, so we have one guy with three illithids. We put them so they're stacking tiles like this. It's going to body ethereal both of themselves, gift of cheated fate both of them, and then astral shield, and then attack. And we're hoping we can take this back. And then, because very unlikely, he could charge into me, which, so be it. If he's going to try to suicide in my dominion, I'll be happy to oblige him. But yeah, so presumably he takes these guys, goes here, and then he's dead. 64 PD. I had to stop recruitment and basically everything. We're not recruiting here. We've switched to just Star Children because they're cheap. Their upkeep isn't cheap, but they're cheap to buy. We're making some more here because I need to go... Or where is it? It's actually here we really need to go underground. Kill these guys. Are we making troops here? Yeah, we're making troops here too. But we've stopped most troop production. Yes, we're making some. We're making maybe like 20 meteorite guard, 30 meteorite guard this turn. That's like $300. Most all of our money. I'll just show you how much money it is so you guys feel the pain of doing a PD dump like this. 2,000 gold of PD. That buys us a lot of troops. The thing is there's not a lot of these guys. Now, they're going to be able to kill the PD. Almost certainly they'll be able to kill a PD dump. But will they be able to kill a PD dump supported by 50 almost? Yeah, 50 Illithid lords, or Illithid soldiers. How many of these guys are diseased? Just that one. 50 Illithid soldiers. And then we've got I'll go through the script. The script's kind of interesting here. So we've got this guy. I think we're making 20 water elementals across everybody. We're doing it in slightly different ways at slightly different times. This guy's doing Light of the Northern Star turn 1, then Power of the Spheres. And yeah, the idea here basically is we want to use less fatigue on these dudes. But we're also, because we're doing Light of the Northern Star, we're having these guys do turn 2 Power of the Spheres. This is going to make them Astral 3. It's going to cost them about 50 fatigue to do this because they'll be at Astral 2 when they cast. But it'll then subsequently make these half as expensive. These will only be 15 fatigue. And then afterwards, they can do stuff like Paralyze, which could be good. That might help us snag a couple mages at the end or something. We're summoning a ton of water elementals. The plan is I have the Illithids in the back, so if he has any flankers, they'll come back here and fight the Illithids. The Meteorite Guard in front, the water elementals can't wade through the Illithids, but they can wade through the Meteorite Guard, so that's why they're up here. And then there's going to be an enormous amount of PD. I went and calculated the number of troops that we're going to have just from the PD, and it is an astronomical amount. I think this is 88 Lobo Guard. It's 40 slave troopers with these nice bone tridents. It's going to be 60 of these, Amber Clan, and it's going to be 30 of these, approximately. So, yeah, this is 90 different Amber Clan in total, and then this will be about 120 of the Rlyeh and stuff. So it's almost, 250 guys. Considering this is where the Mind Blasters, I think, are actually going to help, is there's just not that much stuff left. There's only 70 guys, maybe. Or Because I think a lot of these guys retreated. If I'm wrong, if they're actually here, the things that retreated are still there. Like some of the Leo campus retreated, some of the Aphori retreated in the original battle. We don't see them in this report really at all. If I'm wrong about that, and they show up with a full 100-stack army, it's going to be very dicey, right? If they do a lot of water elementals, it's going to be very dicey. But the thing is we have enough Mind Blasters now that, like, even if we only paralyze, like, 10 people around, 10 people out of, like, 70 or 80 is a lot. And that's going to dramatically reduce his ability to fight 250 PD. So, is that right? 220 PD or something is the amount of troops. And then after that, waiting through the PD is going to be all the water elementals. Now, one risk with doing something like this is you could have the PD HP route your army, but that won't happen. I did the math. Some of the important things for the math on that is these guys are slaves, so they only count as half. But because they're PD, they count as, like, all PD counts as 0.25. So I think when you add up all the stuff we're going to have, it should outweigh that. The PD is also going to absorb a lot of the fatigue of the mages, essentially, and that the mages are going to spend a lot of energy killing the PD and hopefully not a lot of energy killing the water elementals and troops and my actual troops. The god who's coming in is going to be doing Power of the Spheres, or maybe we should do this here. I'll just do it turn 1. He'll be doing Power of the Spheres, and then I don't have any conservative gem use on then attack, and I loaded him up with water gems. I have no idea what he's going to cast, but he's going to summon a bunch of garbage. Presumably this will be... I mean, it would be sick if he did, which I think technically might be possible. I don't think I have it on AI no cast, but technically he could do Friendly Currents, because that will be researched. But I'm expecting water elementals and schools of sharks, so that'll be nice. And he's just going to be a big blob of HP killing things pretty quickly. If they don't have water elementals, like if they aren't able to restock, they're in real trouble. So that's basically that. This is potentially going to be the move where this army dies. And if I had to trade out this army to kill this one, then that's just the trade that I had to make. Are there other things he could do? He could potentially PD dump the capital, patrol with these guys. He doesn't want to do that because he wants to recruit mages and troops, and he doesn't have enough money to do both. Probably barely has enough money to PD dump. Yeah. He could go this way and dodge my PD dump, but he doesn't want to do that because he really wants to get to this lab. Because he's going to need that lab probably to fight over here. Now, one of the things is this fort, I didn't know this until now, but it has 50 siege defense. That's a lot. So that means when I'm moving these guys on top, it's, well, if I moved everybody, it's 339. We need 350 to one-turn pop it. Like 360, really. So since we can't one-turn pop it, I ended up deciding to move on Oceania. And the reason is twofold. One is I want to keep their cap locked down, and I want to deny any chance that they can take it. The other is I don't want there to be any retreat routes for this army. We're trying to cut this off, which we have a decent chance at doing. But he potentially could take these Leo campus and ride out and secure a retreat route, like here or here. And so what I'm doing is I did a small PD dump here, which with the presence of this guy, summoning water elementals, you know, that could potentially... let's move him a little bit further forward, though. Maybe like right here. You know, that could potentially survive against 17 Leo campus. These guys are really good, though. I think they're a great summon. And then, how many... what paths? Is this something we could get? No, we'd need to be Nature 2. We're only Nature 1. Our God could do it, but that's not a great use of God turns. So, yeah. So we're moving this big stack on here. If he takes these guys and rides this way, then we should kill them. If he takes these guys and ride this way, we should kill him unless he comes out also with a bunch of sirens. And if he has a bunch of sirens, then the Leo campus could potentially take the day here. Though we do have some Shark Tribe on attack rear that could swing things for us. So, yeah. If he goes here, he's probably screwed. If he patrols the cap, he's probably screwed. If he comes down here, I'm moving an army here to catch this, because again, this is one of the retreat routes from the Flooding Lagoon. I want to have cut all those off. So we're protecting this retreat route. This means also that this next turn, we won't have popped his capital, but potentially the turn after we will. So we're potentially, guys, I know this seems crazy on the heels of this huge defeat, but we're potentially, not next turn, but the turn after, we could be storming one or both of these and totally knocking Oceania out of the game. That's my prediction, in fact. I think that in 3 turns, Oceania is going to be losing their last fort. We also stormed this. I should show this to you. And we also had a battle in Rlyeh. Very eventful turn. So you can see we're mind blasting these cav. Not really many are making it through. This one who does ends up kind of getting tangled up with the meteorite guard. And the meteorite guard are holding, but there's a lot of guys in here. So the Yizia, you know, PD held pretty strong, but that was basically exactly what we wanted. That was exactly how we wanted the battle to go. We'll watch that again. But some things to notice are just how the meteorite guard, how they basically are going to engage right by the illithids, which is what we wanted. And these guys, I think, didn't get any spells. So I think he didn't even really script this, which a little unfortunate. Maybe they could have done some summons or something and bulked this up. I don't think there was... I think even with optimal scripting, I don't think they would have killed but maybe 5 or 6 more guys. We lost 3 illithid soldiers and we lost 12 meteorite guard. Maybe they could have killed 10 or 20 guys. I don't think there was a way they would have reversed this, though. I mean, maybe if they had enough for... I don't think they had some in water elementals. If they had big water elementals, there's maybe a chance they could have reversed it. I don't think they had that, though. So, yeah. That's yes. Well, yes is now ours. Including the Earth and the Glamour income, which will be very nice for us to have. So that's nice. I'm trying to think what else. I do want to build a temple here. So we've got this guy moving up here to make a temple. There was an event this turn that was very strange. Necromancer extends his power. This seemed like a story event to me. I couldn't remember it exactly, but I went and looked it up. It happened here. And turns out this means there's a bunch of bad shit that can happen. And we have an army coming in here just from Rlyeh from Rlyeh, which will coincidentally block it. But then I'm going to build a temple, and the temple has a chance to knock the event out. So we're going to put a temple here, try to get this event to go away. Otherwise, we're going to lose a lot of our population, and we'll get attacked. It'll be bad. Here we have basically just garbage sieging. I don't really feel confident we could take this without this army, but we also shouldn't pop the fort this turn. It's going to be one more turn, so we'll have all the illithids and mages on top, and we can just take it. At that point, we could potentially look at trying to take this. I don't know if we would. We would have 30 illithids and 14 meteorite guard and some garbage. I don't think we're quite ready to take this throne yet, but this is certainly one we could take. So there's actually... Yeah, there's 3 coastal thrones we could grab. It's pretty important to scry and get the right ones. So of the 3, my top one is Throne of Gaia. My next best one is the Throne of Life. My next best one... This would be really nice. Increases magic. Let's see if we can tell it all. Magic 2, magic 1. Oh, but this is magic. They've got growth 4, magic 3. So that's hard to read. This one, I can't tell because we're not even over there. This is, whose dominion is this? These guys are, oh wow. These guys are cold 3, but we're winter, so they're cold 2, misfortune. Yeah, I think this is in Satis's dominion. So it's 2. It's not more magic and it's not more growth. I have no idea. We're going to have to see what thrones these are, though. The other way I think, oh, we're not going to scribe because next turn we're going to cast Eyes of God. We'll do that with Cthulhu, I think. Or we might do it with our god. We'll see. Cthulhu is probably safer because somebody would have to wish to kill him. He's not going to have another way to die. They could burn his eyes out, but I don't think I really care. We also have recuperation on him. So, yeah, so we just cast Eyes of God next turn, then we'll see where all the thrones are. That'll be really good for helping prevent a throne rush, too. Because I'll have full information, so I can feed that to people who are going to... I'm not going to try a throne rush myself, of course. I hate winning games that way. Like, I like letting the game kind of develop and play out. But it will be good to stop other people doing it. It's also going to give me a huge amount of information about the game state. So that'll be really good. Yeah, that's going to be immediate. The only problem is if somebody overcasts me. That would be a bit annoying. But I can just feed information to people strategically so they won't really want to overcast me for the most part. Presumably, I'm going to be the biggest by a margin. I'm expecting... This is a good time. Oh, well, maybe we'll do it next episode. But I'm expecting... No, next episode might be 2 episodes, though. Or like 2 turns, which would include the Eyes of God cast. So I would already know. This is probably my last episode where I have no idea. I'm expecting... Provinces, number 2 is down here. That's my guess. Forts, I bet you we're pretty close, tied to number 1. Maybe we're ahead. Maybe number 2 is down here. Income, I bet you we're pretty tight on income. I think our income's pretty low because we have a lot of unrest. We don't have great scales. And we don't have our dominion spread. So I bet you we're actually 20% under the highest income. Gym income, I bet you we're right around tied. No, Satis is going to be at least... Satis might have more. I bet you we're not the highest, but I bet you we're position 2 or 3 and not ballpark too far away. Research, we're horrible. I bet you we're like 4th or 5th in research. Dominion is not changing much. We need to make more temples and more preachers and get our dominion spread. We're going to be really bad in dominion. Army size, I bet you we're highest by a margin. I bet you number 2 is like down here. Ascension points we can already see. So I think that's it. Did I talk about all the things? Yeah, I talked about why we're not moving everybody here because we can't 1-turn pop it. I talked about why we're moving on top of Oceania. And that's because I want to guarantee we kill whatever's here and lock down retreat routes. And basically, if I move more stuff here, then I can free up... These guys were originally going to go on top of here because I wanted to make sure I took it. But anyway, I don't need to do that if we position these guys here. So that's basically that. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next turn. Cheers.